I think it's the mystery of mysteries, the king of mysteries, fabulous treasure seemingly within reach if anyone can figure out how to get it. Oak Island's mysteries just got even deeper with a jaw-dropping discovery on Lot 24. Known for its countless twists in treasure hunting drama, this latest find could be the breakthrough everyone's been waiting for. So what exactly was uncovered on Lot 24? Could it finally connect the dots to the legendary treasure? A farmer or a keeper of gold nestled off Samuel Ball. The southern coast of Nova Scotia lies Oak Island, a mysterious patch of land that has fueled treasure hunting dreams for centuries. It's the kind of place where you feel like secrets have been buried deep both literally and figuratively. Among its hidden corners is a quiet 4-acre property known as Lot 25. Today, it's just a crumbling foundation surrounded by trees, but back in the day, it was home to a man whose life might hold the key to Oak Island's most legendary mystery. Meet Samuel Ball. His story is as intriguing as the treasure hunters who've searched the island for clues. In 2020, the latest crew of searchers, led by brothers Marty and Rick Lagina alongside archaeologist Laird Niven, decided to dig into this 18th-century homestead to learn more about the man behind it all. Now, Samuel Ball's name pops up in Oak Island's history like a question mark. How did a man born into unimaginable hardship end up as one of the wealthiest landowners here, and did he have a hand in hiding or maybe even recovering a legendary treasure? Let's rewind. Samuel Ball was born in 1761 on a rice plantation near Charleston, South Carolina. This wasn't just any plantation, it was notorious for its brutal conditions. Cultivating rice was grueling, it demanded swampy fields, backbreaking labor, and constant exposure to disease, malaria, dysentery, cholera, you name it, it was there. Add to that the daily threat of violence, and life was a relentless cycle of survival. For the first 18 years of his life, Samuel faced the kind of challenges most of us can't begin to imagine. But then in 1776, history took a sharp turn. The American Revolution was in full swing, and the British Army, desperate to undermine the rebels, made an unexpected move. In 1779, General Sir Henry Clinton issued a proclamation promising freedom to enslaved individuals who escaped rebel owners and joined the British. It wasn't full emancipation, but it was a lifeline. Samuel Ball was one of 50 enslaved people who seized this chance, leaving the Ball plantation behind to cross into British lines. After serving in South Carolina with the British Army, Samuel Ball found himself heading north to New York, where things got, let's say, interesting. He joined the Loyal Refugee Volunteers, a unit with a reputation for daring raids and bold moves. This wasn't your typical military group, they were out there raiding rebel homes, acquiring goods, and doing what wartime demanded. Sure, in peacetime this would have been flat-out illegal, but during war, it was survival tactics. Through all this, Samuel was learning, whether it was from the missions or the men he worked alongside, he picked up skills that would later help him navigate the tricky world of money and business. Let's be real, some of these lessons might not have come with a how to stay legal manual, but they were effective. Despite early British victories, the war took a sharp turn. In 1781, the American forces pulled off a game-changing win. That defeat pushed Samuel Ball, along with countless others loyal to Britain, to make a life-changing decision. He fled to British-occupied Canada, where the Crown had promised freedom, goods, and land to enslaved black individuals in exchange for their loyalty. The result? A wave of migration. Nearly 5,000 black loyalists arrived in Nova Scotia, forming 52 historic black communities. While many settled in Shelburne or nearby Birchtown, Samuel had other plans. By 1787, he'd purchased a 4-acre lot on Oak Island, Lot 25, for £8 sterling. That's thousands of dollars in today's terms. It wasn't a fortune, but for the time, it was a decent sum, especially for someone starting fresh. But why Oak Island? It's not exactly prime real estate, remote, isolated, and surrounded by trees. Some think his decision might have had something to do with his neighbor, Captain James Anderson, who owned the adjoining Lot 26. Could there have been a deeper connection or shared interest between the two? Speaking of Captain James, his life had twists just like Samuel. Born in Mary Anderson, he grew up to become a pirate and privateer during the American Revolution. He initially pledged his loyalty to the United States but then pulled the ultimate plot twist after receiving command of an American ship. He defected to the British. This didn't sit well with then Virginia Governor and future President Thomas Jefferson, who slapped Anderson with charges of high treason and piracy. With the heat on him, Anderson fled to Canada and eventually landed on Oak Island, buying Lot 26. He lived there until 1788, just a stone's throw from Samuel Ball's Lot 25. Now, did Anderson and Samuel know about something hidden on Oak Island before they even arrived? What we do know is that after Anderson left, Samuel Ball bought his lot. By then, Samuel was well on his way to building an impressive property portfolio. Starting as a cabbage farmer, Samuel turned his 4 acres into something far bigger. By 1790, he even purchased nearby Hook Island for £6, a hefty sum for the time. But let's be real, could cabbage farming alone bankroll this kind of real estate spree? Some historians suggest otherwise. The British government's policy of awarding contracts to freed black settlers to supply goods to the military may have played a role. Honestly, it makes sense. For the British Navy, cabbage was a lifesaver, literally. They used cabbage to produce sauerkraut, a vital source of vitamin C that helped sailors fight off scurvy on long voyages. At the height of demand, Samuel likely cashed in on lucrative contracts with the Navy, supplying the sauerkraut that kept ships sailing. But like all booms, this one had its bust. The Navy eventually shifted to using limes for vitamin C, easier to store and transport, which left the cabbage market high and dry. Even so, Samuel's wealth didn't just hold steady, it kept growing. Then came 1795. This year marked a turning point not just for Samuel Ball but for Oak Island itself. That's when 3 young men stumbled upon what would become the island's most enduring mystery, the so-called money pit on Lot 18. It started innocently enough. The men noticed a strange depression in the ground, and above it, an old ship's tackle block hanging from a tree. Curiosity got the better of them, and they began digging. What they uncovered was mind-blowing. 30 feet down, they hit a wooden platform made of oak beams. And it didn't stop there. Every 10 feet below that, the pattern repeated. This wasn't random, it was deliberate. A man-made construction with purpose. Over the next 2 centuries, treasure hunters dug deeper, reaching depths of over 150 feet in search of whatever lay beneath. But in 1795, the original dig only went 30 feet. After the money pit's discovery, Samuel Ball didn't just sit back and grow cabbages. He started snapping up land, lots of it. By the time he was done, Samuel owned not just Lot 25 but also Lots 8, 24, 31, 32, 36, and 7 on Oak Island. Oh, and let's not forget about the 100 additional acres he picked up on the mainland. That's a serious real estate portfolio. But if the cabbage boom had fizzled out, where was he getting the money? What connection did Samuel have to the money pit's discovery? This wasn't normal behavior for a simple farmer. Did he find something valuable in those early digs, some part of the treasure? The part of the treasure? Secrets of Lot 24. In 2016, metal detection expert Gary Drayton and Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse decided to dig into Lot 24 in search of clues that might unlock the Oak Island treasure mystery. What they found was truly unexpected. They found coins. As they scanned the property, pieces of history began to surface, hinting at something much bigger. Evidence suggested that British military encampments were established on the island during the 18th century, years before Samuel Ball's arrival. The discovery aligns with a long-standing theory by treasure hunter Fred Nolan, who believed Oak Island wasn't just about the money pit, it was part of a British military operation. Fred Nolan's theories gained traction after he purchased 7 lots on Oak Island in 1963. A professional land surveyor, Nolan became fascinated with man-made stone markers scattered across the island. According to Nolan, these markers suggested not only the creation of the money pit but also the burial of smaller treasure caches all over Oak Island. Where would such treasure have come from? Nolan had an idea, and it involved one of the largest treasure hauls in history. Let's rewind to the 7 Years' War, a global conflict fought between 1756 and 1763. Mind you, it wasn't any European squabble, it spread across continents from West Africa to India and the Caribbean. By 1761, Spain's King Charles III had allied with France, prompting Britain to declare war on Spain. What followed was the British capture of Havana in 1762, one of the war's most infamous battles. Havana was more than just a strategic city, it was a treasure trove. Huge amounts of gold and silver were stored there, and when the British seized the colony,